Meet Cinea. 2 years ago, she was struggling to make ends meet. Today, she's doubled her income and is on track to retire early. How did she do it? Cinea's secret isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. It's a strategy that's helping thousands of millennials and Gen Zers build wealth faster than ever before. And in the next few minutes, we're going to break it down step by step. The old rules don't apply anymore. Remember when your parents or teachers told you to save 10% of your income and wait for retirement? Yeah, that advice doesn't quite cut it anymore. Let's talk about why these old-school financial rules just don't work for most young people today. Think about it. The world has changed a lot since those rules were made. The cost of living is skyrocketing, but wages? They're pretty much standing still. It's like trying to climb a mountain that keeps getting taller. Not exactly fair, right? Here's the thing. A recent study found that 63% of millennials are living paycheck to paycheck. That's more than half of an entire generation just trying to keep their heads above water. How are they supposed to save 10% when they're barely making ends meet? And Gen Z? They're stepping into a job market that's about as stable as a Jenga tower in an earthquake. One day you have a job, the next day your company's downsizing. It's tough to plan for the future when you're not even sure what next month looks like. So what happens when these old rules don't work? We make new ones. That's exactly what young people are doing. They're rewriting the financial playbook, and guess what? It's working. Let's break it down. Instead of sticking to one job and slowly climbing the corporate ladder, many young folks are job hopping. They're not being disloyal, they're being smart. Each hop can mean a significant bump in salary, sometimes even doubling their income in just a few years. And saving? It's not just about putting money in a low-interest savings account anymore. Young investors are getting aggressive, diving into the stock market earlier than ever before. They're using apps that make investing easy and accessible, even if you don't have a finance degree. But perhaps the biggest change is the rise of the side hustle. Who says you can only have one income stream? Many Gen Z and millennials are building businesses on the side, turning their passions into profit. From freelance graphic design to starting a YouTube channel, these side gigs are becoming a major source of wealth. Let's talk about student loans for a second. The old advice was to pay them off as quickly as possible. But now, some young people are choosing to invest instead of aggressively paying down debt. They're looking at the interest rates and making strategic decisions about where their money will grow faster. And homeownership? It's not the be-all and end-all anymore. Many young folks are choosing to rent longer, investing the money they save into other wealth-building strategies. They're not tied down to one location, giving them the freedom to move for better job opportunities. Retirement is getting a makeover too. The idea of working until you're 65 and then suddenly stopping? That's not appealing to many young people. Instead, they're aiming for financial independence, having enough passive income to cover their expenses so they can choose to work on their own terms. Let's not forget about the power of community. Young people are sharing financial advice on social media, creating support groups, and learning from each other's experiences. It's not just about individual success anymore. It's about lifting each other up. Technology is playing a huge role in this financial revolution. Budgeting apps, investment platforms, and online banking have made it easier than ever to manage money. Young people are using these tools to track their spending, automate their savings, and make informed investment decisions. The gig economy is another game changer. It's given young people more flexibility in how they work and earn. They can take on short-term contracts, freelance work, or start their own businesses with lower barriers to entry than ever before. And let's talk about minimalism and the sharing economy. Many young folks are rejecting the idea that success means owning a lot of stuff. They're choosing experiences over possessions and using services like car sharing instead of taking on the cost of car ownership. Even the way young people think about careers is different. Instead of choosing one path and sticking to it, many are embracing the idea of multiple careers over their lifetime. They're constantly learning new skills, adapting to changes in the job market, and creating their own opportunities. Remember Cinea? Here's her strategy. Think job hopping is just for restless millennials? Think again. It might just be the secret sauce to supercharging your wealth. Let's talk about Cinea, who turned the traditional career playbook on its head and ended up doubling her income faster than most people get a standard raise. Cinea was doing everything by the book. She had a steady job, was saving a bit each month, and was following all the right financial advice. But here's the thing. Despite her best efforts, she was barely making progress. Her savings were growing at a snail's pace, and financial freedom seemed like a distant dream. Something had to change. That's when Cinea decided to try something different. Instead of staying put and hoping for the best, she embraced the idea of strategic job hopping. Now, this wasn't about jumping ship every few months. Cinea had a plan. Over the course of 2 years, she changed jobs 3 times. Each move was carefully calculated to boost her career and her bank account. But here's where it gets interesting. Cinea wasn't just chasing bigger paychecks. She was also negotiating for better benefits and more flexibility. Let's break down why this strategy worked so well. First off, job hopping allowed Cinea to tap into a little-known secret of the job market. Studies show that employees who change jobs can see salary increases of 10 to 20% or more, compared to those who stay in the same position. That's a significant bump that can really add up over time. But it's not just about the immediate pay raise. Each new job was an opportunity for Cinea to negotiate better benefits. We're talking about things like more vacation time, better health insurance, or even remote work options. These perks might not show up directly in your paycheck, but they can have a huge impact on your quality of life and overall financial health. The result? In just 2 years, Cinea managed to double her income. That's right, double. It's the kind of progress that could take a decade or more if you're relying on annual raises at the same company. Now you might be thinking, sure, but isn't job hopping risky? It's a fair question. Changing jobs does come with some uncertainty. There's always the possibility of a new job not working out or ending up with gaps in your employment history. These are real concerns that can affect your long-term career growth and benefits. But here's where Cinea's approach stands out. She wasn't job hopping randomly. Each move was part of a bigger plan. She was strategic about it, making sure each new position aligned with her long-term career goals and the demands of the job market. It wasn't just about chasing the biggest paycheck. It was about building a career path that would lead to sustained financial growth. This approach is becoming more common, especially among younger workers. In fact, a recent survey found that 39% of Gen Z professionals are considering changing jobs within the next 6 months. They're not just looking for better pay, they're seeking opportunities for growth, learning, and a better work-life balance. It's part of a bigger shift in how young people are approaching their careers and finances. Instead of choosing one path and sticking to it no matter what, they're staying flexible and adaptable. They're constantly learning new skills, keeping an eye on changes in the job market, and creating their own opportunities. But let's be clear, Cinea's story isn't just about making more money. It's about taking control of your financial future. By being proactive about her career moves, she was able to accelerate her wealth-building journey. She wasn't waiting for opportunities to come to her, she was out there creating them. This kind of approach can have a ripple effect on your entire financial life. When you're earning more, you have more resources to invest, save, and build wealth. You're not just treading water, you're swimming towards your financial goals at top speed. Of course, job hopping isn't the right strategy for everyone. It depends on your industry, your personal goals, and your risk tolerance. But Cinea's story shows us that sometimes the conventional wisdom about building a career and growing wealth needs to be challenged. The 100K myth, why it's not the magic number. Let's talk about that famous 100K net worth target. Is it really the key to financial success, or just another outdated idea that's due for a reality check? You've probably heard that once you hit $100, everything gets easier. But here's the thing. For many young people, that number feels about as achievable as winning the lottery. Think about it. The financial landscape has changed dramatically, especially for younger generations. Many Gen Z individuals are starting their careers with negative net worth due to student loans. That's right, they're not even at zero, they're in the red before they even get their first paycheck. And it's not just a small setback. We're talking about a significant financial hurdle that makes that 100K goal feel like it's on another planet. But it's not just Gen Z feeling the squeeze. A study showed that Gen Z has about 86% less buying power than baby boomers did at the same age. That's a huge gap. It means that even if they're working just as hard and saving just as much as their grandparents did, they're still way behind in terms of what that money can actually buy. No wonder the 100K milestone seems so far out of reach. Now, you might be wondering, why are we still so fixated on this number? Well, part of it comes from the advice of financial experts like Charlie Munger. He famously said, "The first $100,000 is a butch, but you gotta do it. I don't care what you have to do, find a way to get your hands on $100,000. This kind of thinking has really stuck in the financial world, making people believe that hitting this threshold is crucial for future wealth accumulation. And there's some truth to that. Once individuals surpass the 100K mark, the growth of their net worth can accelerate significantly. It's all thanks to the magic of compound interest and the scaling of capital. In other words, your money starts to work harder for you, making it easier to accumulate wealth thereafter. But here's where we need to pause and think critically. Is chasing this arbitrary number really the best approach for everyone, especially in today's financial climate? More and more young people are saying, not so fast. The concept of the 100K net worth goal is starting to feel outdated. Many young people are shifting their focus from merely accumulating wealth to achieving financial wellness and aligning their financial goals with personal values. It's not just about hitting a number anymore. It's about creating a financial life that works for you. Think about it this way. If you're constantly stressing about reaching 100K, you might miss out on other important financial moves. Maybe you're passing up on experiences that could enrich your life, or skipping out on investments in your personal growth that could lead to higher earnings down the line. Is that really smart money management? The truth is, wealth building isn't about hitting a specific number. It's about progress. It's about making consistent, smart money moves that improve your financial situation over time. Young people are finding success by focusing on growth, not arbitrary goals. So what does this mean for you? Well, instead of fixating on that $100 target, try setting smaller, more achievable milestones. Maybe your first goal is to pay off a certain percentage of your student loans, or perhaps you want to save up 3 months of living expenses for an emergency fund. These smaller wins can give you the confidence and momentum to keep moving forward. And remember, your financial journey is unique. What works for someone else might not work for you. The key is to find strategies that align with your personal goals and values. Maybe for you, financial success means having the freedom to travel or the ability to switch careers without worrying about a pay cut. Whatever it is, make sure your financial goals are serving you, not the other way around. Anita's aggressive investing approach. Let's talk about a financial strategy that's turning heads and challenging everything we thought we knew about building wealth. Meet Anita, who's rewriting the rules of wealth building with an approach that might raise some eyebrows. While others are fixated on traditional milestones, Anita's quietly revolutionizing her financial future. And here's the kicker. She's doing it without ever hitting that mythical 100K mark we've all heard so much about. So what's Anita's secret? She's not waiting for a big salary or a windfall to start investing. Instead, she's taking a bold approach that might make some people nervous. Anita is putting a whopping 50% of her income into investments. Yes, you read that right. Half of everything she earns is going straight into building her wealth. But Anita's not just playing it safe with savings accounts or low-yield investments. She's diving headfirst into the stock market, exploring real estate, opportunities, and even dipping her toes into cryptocurrencies. It's a diverse portfolio that spreads her risk while maximizing her potential for growth. Now, you might be thinking, isn't that risky? And you're right to ask. Anita's strategy isn't for the faint of heart. But here's the thing. She's not trying to get rich quick. Anita's playing the long game, and that's what makes her approach so interesting. Her goal? To reach something called Coast FI. If you're wondering what that means, you're not alone. Coast FI, or Coast Financial Independence, is a concept that's gaining traction among young investors. It's the point where your investments grow enough to fund your retirement without needing additional contributions. Once you hit Coast FI, you can theoretically coast to retirement, knowing your nest egg will keep growing on its own. This strategy emphasizes the importance of starting to invest early to leverage the power of compound interest. And Anita's taking full advantage of this. By investing aggressively now while she's young, she's giving her money more time to grow. It's like planting a forest instead of a single tree. The earlier you start, the more impressive the results will be down the line. But Anita's approach isn't just about the numbers. It's part of a broader shift we're seeing among young people. A recent survey found that 58% of 18 to 35-year-olds are integrating financial management into their overall wellness routines. This isn't just about getting rich. It's about taking control of your financial future and making it a key part of your overall well-being. Anita's strategy also taps into another trend among Gen Z and millennials. Many young people are finding that side hustles or additional income streams can significantly boost their financial wellness. In fact, 41% of Gen Z and millennials report that engaging in side hustles has had a positive impact on their finances. This extra income can fuel aggressive investing strategies like Anita's, creating a powerful cycle of wealth building. Now, you might be wondering how Anita manages to invest so aggressively while still keeping her financial life in balance. It's not easy, but it's definitely doable. Experts suggest that balancing aggressive investing with financial security involves creating a budget that prioritizes savings and investments while also preparing for unexpected expenses. This means setting up emergency funds and automating savings alongside those big investment moves. Anita's approach is a perfect example of how young people are rejecting traditional financial wisdom in favor of more aggressive strategies aimed at financial independence. And she's not alone. This trend is supported by the rise of accessible investing apps that allow for early investment with small amounts. These tools are democratizing investing, making it possible for more people to follow in Anita's footsteps. But perhaps the most important lesson from Anita's story is that it's not about how much you earn, but how you use what you have. She's proving that with the right strategy, even those without high-paying jobs can build significant wealth over time. It's about making smart choices with the resources you have, rather than waiting for some magic number or perfect moment to start investing. Financial experts have long emphasized the importance of starting to invest as early as possible to take advantage of compounding returns. This can lead to exponential growth in wealth over time. Anita's strategy takes this advice to heart, maximizing her early investments to set herself up for long-term success. It's a particularly crucial lesson for younger generations who have the advantage of time on their side. Anita's aggressive investing approach is putting her on track to retire years earlier than her peers. By focusing on reaching Coast FI, she's creating a future where work becomes a choice rather than a necessity. It's a powerful shift in perspective, the side hustle revolution. Let's talk about a trend that's reshaping how young people think about work and wealth. You've probably heard of side hustles before, but here's the thing. They're not just for extra pocket money anymore. For many Gen Z and millennials, side hustles are becoming a crucial part of their wealth-building strategy. Think about it. Nearly 2/3 of people surveyed are either already running a side hustle or planning to start one. That's not just a few folks trying to make ends meet. It's a full-blown revolution in how we approach income and financial success. And get this, 50% of millennials now have a side hustle. That's a massive shift from what we've seen in previous generations. It's like young people are saying, hey, why settle for one income stream when you can have 2 or 3 or more? But these aren't just small-time gigs we're talking about. Some of these side hustles are turning into serious moneymakers. Take Sion, for example. He started a blog as a hobby, probably thinking it would be a fun way to share his thoughts and maybe make a few bucks. Fast forward a bit, and that blog is now bringing in 6 figures. That's the kind of success story that's inspiring a whole generation to think differently about their skills and hobbies. Now you might be wondering, why are so many young people jumping on the side hustle bandwagon? Well, it's not just about the extra cash, although that's certainly a big draw. Side hustles offer something that traditional jobs often can't: flexibility and creative freedom. Imagine being able to pursue your passion, set your own hours, and build something that's truly yours. That's the allure of the side hustle. It's about taking control of your financial future in a way that feels authentic and exciting. And here's something really interesting. 31% of people surveyed said that targeting side hustles is their #1 financial goal for 2025. That's not just a trend, it's a shift in how people are approaching their financial strategies. Instead of relying solely on their day job or traditional investments, they're looking to create their own opportunities. But let's be clear, starting a successful side hustle isn't always easy. It takes time, effort, and often a good bit of trial and error. However, for many, the potential rewards make it worth the effort. It's not just about the money either. Side hustles can be a way to test out new skills, explore different industries, and even pave the way for a complete career change down the line. What's really exciting is how this side hustle revolution is changing the way we think about work and wealth. It's challenging the traditional model of climbing the corporate ladder or relying on a single job for financial security. Instead, it's empowering people to create multiple income streams and build wealth on their own terms. And it seems like this trend is here to stay. According to surveys, 65% of Gen Z and millennials plan to continue their entrepreneurial efforts in 2025. That's a pretty clear sign that this isn't just a passing fad, but a profound shift in how younger generations view work, purpose, and financial independence. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but how do I actually turn my hobby into a 6-figure income like Cyan did with his blog? Well, that's the $1,000,000 question. Or in Cyan's case, the 6-figure question. While there's no one-size-fits-all formula for side hustle success, there are some common threads we can learn from. First, it often starts with identifying a skill or interest that you're passionate about. For Cyan, it was blogging. For you, it might be graphic design, coding, personal training, or even dog walking. The key is to find something that you enjoy and that others find valuable. Next, it's about consistency and persistence. Successful side hustlers often put in hours of work before seeing significant returns. They treat their side hustle like a real business, even if it starts as just a few hours a week. Then there's the importance of continual learning and adaptation. The digital landscape is always changing, and successful side hustlers stay on top of trends in their niche. They're not afraid to pivot or try new strategies when something isn't working. Lastly, many successful side hustlers focus on building a personal brand. In today's digital age, your personal brand can be your biggest asset. It's what sets you apart from the competition and helps you build a loyal following. The new paths to wealth. Let's talk about a trend that's completely reshaping how young people think about building wealth. The traditional career ladder, it's not just being climbed anymore, it's being reimagined from the ground up. The new paths to wealth might surprise you, and they're changing everything we thought we knew about success. Here's the thing. The old playbook for financial success is getting tossed out the window. Young professionals, especially those in Gen Z, are looking at their careers with fresh eyes. They're not just chasing paychecks. They're after growth, satisfaction, and a life that aligns with their values. In fact, a recent study showed that 39% of Gen Z professionals might be on the hunt for a new job within the next 6 months. But this isn't about job hopping for the sake of it. It's about finding opportunities that offer real growth and satisfaction. Think about it. The rise of what some are calling Generation Side Hustle is more than just a catchy phrase. It's a sign of a profound shift in how younger generations view work, purpose, and financial independence. Nearly 2/3 of young people have either started a side hustle or are planning to. This isn't just about making extra cash, though that's certainly part of it. It's about creating multiple streams of income, building skills, and having a safety net in a world where job security isn't what it used to be. Now, you might be wondering, is this sustainable? Can you really build wealth this way? Well, experts are saying yes. The long-term viability of these non-traditional careers like freelancing and entrepreneurship is supported by a growing demand for flexible work arrangements. Plus, technology is making it easier than ever to generate income in new and creative ways. Let's break it down a bit. Gen Z is taking a pragmatic approach to work. They're not just looking for a paycheck. They want jobs that align with their personal values and goals. This mindset is completely reshaping what traditional career paths look like. It's not about climbing the corporate ladder anymore. It's about building a career that fits into the life you want to live. Here's where things get really interesting. The shift towards these non-traditional career paths isn't just about following your passion. It's also a response to some harsh realities. Rising costs of living and job instability are pushing young people to look for alternative ways to achieve financial security. They're not putting all their eggs in one basket. They're creating multiple baskets. Think about the tech-savvy nature of Gen Z. They're using this to their advantage, exploring all sorts of online platforms for freelancing and side hustles. This isn't just about making money. It's about creating a flexible, adaptable career that can weather economic ups and downs. They're building skills, networks, and income streams that can adapt as the job market changes. Now, let's talk about a trend that's really catching fire: digital nomadism. More and more young people are embracing a lifestyle that combines work and travel. It's not just about seeing the world, though that's a big perk. It's about creating a lifestyle that offers both flexibility and the potential for personal growth. This isn't just a pipe dream, it's becoming a viable career path for many. But let's be real. These new paths to wealth aren't all sunshine and rainbows. They come with their own set of challenges. There's no guaranteed paycheck, no company pension waiting at the end of the road. The stability that traditional career paths offered, that's not part of the deal here. So why are so many young people choosing this route? It's about more than just money. It's about freedom, flexibility, and the ability to shape your life on your own terms. It's about building wealth in a way that aligns with your values and goals. For many young people, the trade-off of stability for flexibility and potential growth is worth it. These new paths are allowing young people to build wealth while living life on their own terms. They're not waiting for retirement to enjoy life. They're building careers that let them enjoy life now while also preparing for the future. It's a fundamental shift in how we think about the relationship between work, wealth, and life satisfaction. The financial education gap. Let's talk about something that's been swept under the rug for far too long: our lack of financial education. Think about it. Did you learn about compound interest in school? How about budgeting or investing? Chances are you didn't, and you're not alone. Here's the thing. Most schools don't teach personal finance. We're left to figure it out on our own, often through trial and error. This education gap is a big reason why old money rules don't work for many young people. We're trying to navigate a complex financial world with outdated maps and incomplete information. But here's where it gets interesting. Young people aren't just accepting this gap. They're taking matters into their own hands. In 2024, we're seeing a generation that's determined to break the cycle of financial illiteracy, and they're doing it in some pretty creative ways. Think about this. A recent survey showed that 61% of 18 to 35-year-olds are experiencing financial stress. The main culprits: rising costs of living, job instability, and escalating housing expenses. These are real pressing issues that our traditional education system just isn't addressing. But here's where it gets even more eye-opening. Only 32% of those surveyed said they had a clear strategy for managing money setbacks. That's a huge red flag. It means that 2/3 of young adults are facing financial challenges without a solid game plan. Now, you might be wondering why this matters so much. Well, according to a 2018 study, many of our financial habits are formed by the age of 7. 7. That's before most of us even understand what money really is. It just goes to show how crucial early financial education can be. But here's the good news. Young people aren't waiting for the system to catch up. They're taking financial education into their own hands. We're seeing a boom in financial literacy content on social media and YouTube. Young people are turning to these platforms to learn about everything from budgeting basics to advanced investing strategies. And it's not just about learning, it's about changing our whole relationship with money. Young people are rejecting the idea that money is a taboo topic. They're openly discussing salaries, sharing investment strategies, and supporting each other's financial goals. This shift is having some pretty impressive results. There's been a 46% increase in US and UK 18 to 27-year-olds holding stocks and shares since 2017. That's a huge jump. It shows that young people aren't just learning about investing, they're actually doing it. And it's not just about stocks. The rise of financial apps has made managing money more accessible for Gen Z. These apps are allowing young people to automate budgeting and savings, which is crucial for developing good financial habits. But perhaps the most interesting trend is the shift towards financial wellness. A significant portion of Gen Z is prioritizing financial wellness over wealth accumulation. In fact, 44% reported improvements in their quality of life since adopting financial wellness habits. This isn't just about making more money, it's about using money as a tool to create a better life. Self-directed financial education is empowering young people to make smarter money moves. They're learning to navigate the complexities of modern finance, from understanding credit scores to exploring cryptocurrency, and they're doing it on their own terms, in ways that make sense for their lives and goals. So why don't old money rules work anymore? Well, for one, they were created in a different economic landscape. Today's young people are facing challenges that previous generations didn't, like massive student loan debt and a rapidly changing job market. But more than that, old money rules often focus on wealth accumulation at the expense of overall well-being. Today's young people are looking for a more holistic approach to finance. Starting small, the power of micro-investing. Think you need a fat paycheck to start investing? Think again. There's a quiet revolution happening in the world of finance, and it's all about starting small. Micro-investing apps are opening doors that were once locked to young, low-income earners. But can investing pocket change really lead to real wealth? Let's talk about something that's changing the game for young investors: micro-investing. It's not about having thousands of dollars to throw into the stock market. It's about starting with what you have, even if that's just the spare change from your coffee run. Here's the thing. Micro-investing apps are making the stock market accessible to everyone, regardless of income. These apps let you invest tiny amounts, sometimes as little as $1 at a time. It's like taking baby steps into the world of investing, but those baby steps can add up to something big over time. Think about it. Even putting away $5 a week might not seem like much. But thanks to the magic of compound interest, it can grow into a significant amount over the years. It's not about getting rich overnight. It's about building good habits and learning how investing works without risking your entire savings. But micro-investing isn't just about the money. It's also about gaining confidence in your financial decisions. When you start small, you can learn about the market, understand how different investments work, and develop better financial habits over time. It's like a training ground for your future financial self. Let's be real though. Micro-investing isn't going to make you a millionaire overnight. But that's not really the point. The point is to get started, to dip your toes in the water of investing. It's about making investing a part of your everyday life, rather than something that only happens when you have a big chunk of cash. Here's where it gets interesting. As you get more comfortable with micro-investing, you might find yourself wanting to invest more. You might start looking for ways to free up more money in your budget for investing. Before you know it, you're not just investing spare change, you're making smart money moves and actively building your wealth. Now, it's important to note that while micro-investing apps are great for getting started, they're not the be-all and end-all of investing. Some experts caution that these apps might not provide the comprehensive financial education that traditional investing platforms offer. So, as you grow more confident, it's a good idea to expand your financial knowledge beyond just the app. But here's the real power of micro-investing. It's helping combat the financial stress that so many young people experience. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, the idea of investing can seem impossible, but microinvesting shows you that it's not. It gives you a way to take control of your financial future, even if it's just a little bit at a time. And get this, the rise of micro-investing apps has been accompanied by a growing trend of financial literacy among younger generations. Many are using these platforms as a stepping stone to bigger investment opportunities down the line. It's like they're building their financial muscles, starting small, but growing stronger over time. So, how can you start building wealth without a big salary? Micro-investing might be your answer. It's not about how much you start with, it's about starting. It's about making investing a habit, no matter how small the amount. Remember, every financial journey starts with a single step. Micro-investing lets you take that step without waiting for the perfect time or the right amount of money. It's about starting where you are with what you have. The snowball effect, accelerating wealth after 100K. You've been steadily building your wealth, putting away money bit by bit. But have you ever wondered what happens when your investments start to gain some real momentum? Let's talk about a fascinating shift that occurs as your net worth grows. And it's not just about the numbers. Think about it. There's a reason why financial experts often talk about reaching that first $100,000. While we've busted the myth that you need to hit this exact number to be successful, there's still something special about crossing certain thresholds in your wealth-building journey. It's called the snowball effect, and it's pretty exciting stuff. Here's the thing. When you first start investing, progress can feel slow. You're putting in money regularly, but it might not seem like much is happening. But once you reach a certain point, let's say around $100,000, something interesting starts to occur. Your wealth begins to grow faster, almost as if it's taken on a life of its own. This acceleration isn't magic, it's math. It's all about compound interest, that powerful force that makes your money work for you. When you have a larger amount invested, even small percentage gains can translate into significant dollar amounts. For example, a 10% return on $100,000 gives you $10,000, while the same return on $1,000 only yields $100. That's the power of capital scaling in action. But here's where it gets really interesting. According to research, it takes about 7.84 years to reach your first $100,000 if you're saving $10,000 annually with a 7% return. But once you hit that mark, things speed up. Moving from $100,000 to $200, that only takes about 5.1 years. Your wealth is growing faster, even if you're not changing your savings rate. This is what financial experts call the critical mass threshold. Below this point, compound interest is working, but its effects are minimal. Once you pass it, though, your larger base amount generates returns that really start to make a difference. It's like your money has found its groove and is dancing to a faster beat. Now, let's be clear. $100,000 isn't some magic number that suddenly changes everything. The snowball effect is more of a gradual process, but many people report experiencing a significant mindset shift around this point in their financial journey. It's like seeing your hard work pay off gives you a boost of financial confidence. Think about it. When you see your investments growing more quickly, you might feel more motivated to make smart money moves. You might start spotting investment opportunities you hadn't noticed before. Your financial decisions become more strategic because you have a clearer picture of how your choices can impact your wealth over time. So, how can you make the most of this snowball effect? First off, consistency is key. Keep investing regularly, even when it feels like progress is slow. Remember, you're building momentum for the future. Consider increasing your investments over time if you can. The more you put in, the faster your snowball can grow. Automation can be a game changer here. Set up automatic transfers to your investment accounts so you're consistently adding to your nest egg without having to think about it. This approach takes advantage of dollar cost averaging, which can help smooth out market ups and downs over time. Another smart move? Focus on long-term growth rather than chasing short-term gains. The snowball effect works best when you give it time to build momentum. This might mean resisting the urge to withdraw money from your investments for non-essential purchases. Every dollar you leave invested has the potential to grow and contribute to your financial snowball. Here's an important point. Starting early, even with small amounts, can make a big difference. The sooner you begin, the quicker you can move through that initial slow growth phase and start experiencing the more exciting, exponential growth phase. So if you're just starting out, don't get discouraged. Every investment, no matter how small, is a step towards building that momentum. Remember, the snowball effect isn't just about reaching a specific number. It's about the journey of building wealth and the opportunities it opens up for you. As your investments grow, you might find yourself with more options. Maybe the ability to take a career risk, start a business, or simply feel more secure in your financial future. Balancing act: financial goals versus rising costs. You've been steadily building your wealth, putting away money bit by bit. But what happens when that snowball of wealth you've been rolling meets the avalanche of rising living costs? Let's talk about the balancing act young people are facing today and the surprising ways they're coming out on top. Here's the thing. The cost of living isn't just creeping up, it's skyrocketing. And for young people, it's hitting especially hard. In fact, 76% of 18 to 35-year-olds say it's their biggest financial stress. That's a lot of people feeling the squeeze. Now, you might be thinking, how am I supposed to save for the future when I can barely afford my rent? It's a fair question. With housing costs through the roof, 46% of young people say it's a major source of anxiety. The idea of setting aside 20% of your income can seem like a joke. Add in job instability, which affects nearly half of young adults, and you've got a recipe for financial stress. But here's where it gets interesting. Young people aren't throwing in the towel. Instead, they're getting creative with their budgets and rethinking what it means to build wealth. They're finding ways to balance their long-term goals with the reality of rising costs. Take the 50-30-20 rule, for example. It's a budgeting strategy that's gaining traction among young adults. The idea is simple. 50% of your income goes to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution, but it's helping many people find balance in their spending. And speaking of balance, let's talk about mindful consumption. More and more young people are questioning their spending habits and prioritizing experiences over stuff. It's not about denying yourself everything. It's about making sure your money aligns with what really matters to you. This shift towards minimalism and conscious consumption isn't just a trend, it's a reflection of changing values. Young people are realizing that having the latest gadget or designer clothes doesn't necessarily make them happier. Instead, they're focusing on experiences, personal growth, and financial security. But it's not just about cutting back. Young people are also getting smart about how they manage their money. Financial apps are becoming a go-to tool for budgeting and saving. These apps make it easy to track spending, set goals, and even automate savings. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket, helping you make smart decisions day by day. Now, you might be wondering, does all this really make a difference? The numbers say yes. Despite the challenges, 61% of young people are actively working on their finances. They're adapting their spending habits, focusing on essentials, and finding ways to save where they can. But let's be real, it's not always easy. Job instability is a major concern for 48% of young adults, which can throw a wrench in even the best-laid financial plans. It's hard to save for the future when you're not sure about your next paycheck. That's why many young people are thinking outside the box when it comes to income. They're not just relying on a single job. Instead, they're exploring side hustles, freelance work, and even starting their own businesses. It's about creating multiple streams of income to provide a bit of a safety net. And here's something interesting. This financial balancing act is actually leading to some innovative strategies. Young people are finding ways to live well on less, whether it's through shared living spaces, car-sharing services, or community-supported agriculture. They're proving that you don't need a huge salary to have a rich life. But perhaps the most important shift is in mindset. Young people are talking about money more openly than ever before. They're sharing tips, discussing challenges, and supporting each other's financial goals. This openness is breaking down the taboo around money talk and helping people make more informed decisions. The FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early. You've heard about saving for retirement, but what about retiring before you hit 40? It sounds impossible, right? Well, there's a growing movement that says otherwise, and it's challenging everything we thought we knew about work and money. Welcome to the world of FIRE, financial independence, retire early. FIRE isn't just another financial trend, it's a whole new way of thinking about your life and your future. Imagine having the freedom to choose how you spend your time without being tied to a 9-to-5 job. That's what FIRE is all about. It's not about lounging on a beach, though you could if you wanted to. It's about having the power to design your life on your own terms. Now here's where things get interesting. FIRE followers aren't just saving a little extra each month. They're often putting away 50% or more of their income. That's a huge shift from the old school advice of saving 10 to 15% for retirement. It's like turning the volume up to 11 on your savings plan. But don't think FIRE is just about pinching pennies and living like a hermit. It's about optimizing every part of your financial life. That means looking at how you earn, how you spend, and how you invest. It's about making your money work as hard as you do. Let's talk about a new twist on FIRE that's gaining traction, Coast FIRE. Here's how it works. You save aggressively early in your career, then let your investments grow without adding more. It's like planting a money tree and letting it grow on its own. This approach can help you retire early without needing a massive nest egg. Now, FIRE isn't without its critics. Some say it's just not realistic for most people, especially if you're dealing with high living costs or student debt. And they've got a point. Not everyone can save half their income, especially in expensive cities or if you're juggling multiple financial responsibilities. But here's the thing. Even if you can't go full FIRE, the principles can still help you improve your financial health. It's like training for a marathon. Even if you never run the full 26.2 miles, you'll still be in better shape than when you started. FIRE supporters argue that the movement is about more than just early retirement. It's about taking control of your finances and your future. It's about questioning the traditional path of working until you're 65 and then hoping you have enough saved to enjoy your golden years. Let's look at a real-life example. Some FIRE followers have achieved their goals by drastically reducing their expenses and increasing their income through side hustles. They've shown that with careful planning and a bit of creativity, it's possible to break free from the traditional work model. One of the key strategies in the FIRE playbook is investing in low-cost index funds. These funds allow you to invest in a broad range of stocks without paying high fees to a fund manager. It's like getting a slice of the whole market pie instead of trying to pick individual winning stocks. Another important tool in the FIRE toolkit is using tax-advantaged accounts. These are special accounts that can help you save on taxes while you're building your wealth. It's like the government giving you a helping hand on your path to financial independence. The FIRE movement has sparked a cultural shift among younger generations. More and more, young people are rejecting the idea that you have to work a traditional job until you're 65. Instead, they're looking for flexible work arrangements that allow for a better balance between work and life. This shift is changing how we think about careers too. Instead of climbing the corporate ladder, many young people are creating their own paths. They're starting businesses, freelancing, or working remotely. It's all about finding ways to earn money that fit with their lifestyle goals. From stress to success, changing the money mindset. Let's talk about financial stress. It's a big issue for many young people, especially those between 18 and 35. In fact, a recent survey showed that 61% of this age group is feeling the financial squeeze. But here's the thing, what if we could flip the script on financial stress? What if, instead of being a roadblock, it could actually be a catalyst for success? Think about it. The main causes of this stress are things we're all familiar with: the rising cost of living, job instability, and those ever-increasing housing expenses. It's no wonder that 76% of young people say that rising living costs are their biggest financial headache. And let's not forget about housing. 46% of young folks are losing sleep over rent or mortgage payments. But here's where things get interesting. Some young people are finding ways to turn that stress into motivation for change. It all starts with changing your money mindset. That means challenging your beliefs about wealth and how you handle your finances. For example, many young people are rejecting the idea that debt is always bad. Instead, they're learning to use debt strategically to invest in their future. This shift in thinking is crucial for changing their relationship with money. It's not about avoiding debt at all costs, but about understanding how to use it wisely to build wealth over time. Another big change is the way young people are talking about money. There's a growing trend towards financial transparency. More and more, young folks are having open conversations about money with their friends and partners. In fact, 65% of people want to have more open discussions about finances. This shift is helping to normalize conversations around financial stress and its impact on mental well-being. But it's not just about talking, it's about taking action too. Many young people are adopting small, intentional actions to overcome their financial challenges. They're budgeting, building extra income streams, and practicing value-driven spending. These strategies are proving effective in creating a more durable financial foundation. Take budgeting, for example. It might sound boring, but it's making a real difference. Of the people who've started budgeting, 41% say it's had the biggest impact on improving their relationship with money. That's huge. It's not just about restricting spending, it's about understanding where your money is going and making smart decisions. Creating a financial wellness routine is another game changer. It's led to 36% of individuals feeling less financial anxiety. This routine might include things like tracking spending, setting financial goals, and regularly reviewing your progress. It's about making your financial health a priority, just like you would with your physical or mental health. The journey towards financial responsibility involves unlearning harmful habits and embracing new ones. It's about mindful consumption and really understanding your spending patterns. This process is essential for building a healthier relationship with money. Experts emphasize that changing your money mindset is a critical step in overcoming financial stress. It's about challenging those long-held beliefs about wealth and embracing a more proactive approach to financial management. Maybe you grew up thinking that money was always scarce or that rich people were somehow bad. These beliefs can hold you back without you even realizing it. By changing their mindset, young people are turning financial stress into financial success. They're not just surviving, they're thriving. They're taking control of their financial futures and feeling more empowered in the process. So, how can you turn your financial stress into financial success? Start by examining your beliefs about money. Are they serving you or holding you back? Then try opening up about money with people you trust. You might be surprised at how many others are facing similar challenges. Next, start with small, intentional actions. Maybe it's creating a simple budget or finding ways to earn a little extra on the side. Remember, it's not about making huge changes overnight. It's about consistent, smart money moves over time. This mindset shift is powerful. It's not just about numbers in a bank account. It's about feeling in control of your financial future. It's about turning that stress into motivation and action. The real timeline, hitting key wealth milestones. Let's talk about the real timeline of building wealth. You've probably heard that you need to hit certain financial milestones by specific ages. But here's the thing. Those traditional timelines might not be as realistic as we once thought. Everyone's financial journey is different, and that's perfectly okay. When it comes to reaching that first $100,000 in net worth, it's often considered the toughest milestone. On average, it takes about 7.84 years to hit this mark through consistent saving and investing. That might sound like a long time, but don't let it discourage you. This first milestone is crucial because it sets the stage for everything that follows. Here's where it gets interesting. Once you cross that $100,000 threshold, things start to speed up. It typically takes about 5.1 years to go from $100,000 to $200,000. Then, reaching $300,000 takes around 3.78 years, and hitting 500,000 only about 2.5 years after that. See how the timeline starts to accelerate? This is the power of compound interest at work. Now, let's look at some real-life examples. Remember Cinea? She doubled her income in just 2 years through strategic job changes. Anita is on track to reach Coast FI, that's financial independence, in her early 30s by investing a whopping 50% of her income. And Cyan? He built a 6-figure blog in 3 years. These timelines are different from what we usually hear, often faster in some ways, but slower in others. The key takeaway here is to focus on progress, not arbitrary deadlines. Small wins add up over time, and they're worth celebrating. For instance, did you know that about 85% of the first $100,000 in net worth typically comes from direct cash contributions? Only about 15% is from investment returns at this stage. This highlights how important your saving habits are in the early stages of wealth building. Let's talk about that $100,000 milestone for a moment. In the finance world, it's often referred to as reaching critical mass. It's like hitting a tipping point where your wealth starts to grow more on its own. Once you reach this level, the returns on your investments begin to significantly outpace the contributions you're making. It's like your money starts working harder than you do. But here's an important point to remember. These are averages and guidelines, not hard and fast rules. Your personal timeline might look very different, and that's okay. What matters is that you're making progress and moving in the right direction. For many young people today, traditional financial milestones like homeownership are becoming more challenging due to rising costs and economic instability. This makes it even more important to have a clear plan and realistic expectations. Remember, it's not about racing to hit certain numbers by certain ages. It's about steady progress and smart money moves that work for your unique situation. Think about wealth building as a journey, not a sprint. It's often non-linear, with ups and downs along the way. Some people, like our case studies, might find ways to accelerate certain aspects of their financial growth. Others might take a slower, steadier approach. Both are valid paths. What's most important is that you start. Even if you can only save or invest a small amount right now, that's okay. Remember how we said the first $100,000 is the hardest? Well, a big part of that is just getting into the habit of saving and investing regularly. Start small if you need to, but start. Also, don't forget to celebrate your progress along the way. Hit your first $1,000 in savings? That's worth celebrating. Increased your income by 5%? Celebrate that too. These milestones might seem small, but they're the building blocks of your financial future. Multiple income streams, the new normal. Let's talk about income streams. Remember when having a single steady job was the gold standard for financial stability? Well, times are changing, and so are the rules of the money game. Young people are waking up to a new reality. Relying on just one paycheck isn't cutting it anymore. Think about it. What if your salary was just one piece of a much bigger income puzzle? That's the mindset shift happening right now among Gen Z and millennials. They're not just looking for jobs, they're creating entire income ecosystems. Here's the thing, nearly 2/3 of young people are either already running a side hustle or planning to start one. That's a huge shift in how we think about work and money. It's not just about making a little extra cash on the weekends anymore. This is a full-on revolution in how we approach our financial futures. So why are so many young people jumping on this multiple income train? Well, it's partly about necessity. With rising living costs and job markets that can change overnight, having all your eggs in one basket feels risky. But it's also about opportunity. Each new income stream is a chance to learn, grow, and build something that's truly yours. Let's break it down a bit. When we talk about multiple income streams, we're not just talking about picking up a few extra shifts. We're seeing the rise of what experts call portfolio careers. Imagine combining a traditional 9-to-5 job with freelance work, a side business, and maybe even some passive income from investments. It's like being the CEO of your own mini conglomerate. Now, you might be thinking, sounds great, but how do I actually do this? Well, it starts with looking at your skills and interests. Maybe you're great at graphic design, or you've always wanted to start a blog. These could be the seeds of your next income stream. The key is to start small and build from there. But let's be real, juggling multiple gigs isn't always a walk in the park. It takes some serious time management skills and a whole lot of planning. You've got to be organized, set boundaries, and know when to say no. It's easy to burn out if you're not careful. Here's where it gets exciting, though. Each new income stream you create is like opening another faucet of financial potential. More streams mean more opportunities to save, invest, and grow your wealth. And the best part? You're not putting all your financial hopes on one job or one boss. You're creating a network of income that can weather economic storms. This shift isn't just trend, it's becoming the new normal for wealth building. Young people are realizing that in an unstable world, diversifying your income is just as important as diversifying your investments. It's about creating financial stability on your own terms. But it's not just about the money. Starting side hustles and exploring different income streams can lead to personal growth and skill development. You might discover talents you never knew you had, or find a passion that could turn into a full-time career down the road. Think about the possibilities. Maybe you start by selling handmade crafts online, then you learn about digital marketing to promote your products. Suddenly, you've got a new skill that could lead to freelance work or even a career change. Each income stream becomes a stepping stone to new opportunities. And here's something interesting. 65% of Gen Z and millennials plan to keep up their entrepreneurial efforts in 2025. This isn't a flash in the pan. It's a fundamental shift in how young people view work and income. They're not waiting for opportunities to come to them. They're creating their own. Now you might be wondering, is this really sustainable? Well, experts are saying yes. The long-term viability of non-traditional careers like freelancing and entrepreneurship is getting stronger every day. As technology advances and the gig economy grows, the tools and platforms for building multiple income streams are becoming more accessible than ever. But remember, it's not about working yourself to the bone. It's about working smarter, not harder. The goal is to create income streams that complement each other and align with your skills and passions. It's about building a financial foundation that gives you more freedom and security, not less. So how can you start creating multiple income streams? Start by looking at what you're good at and what you enjoy doing. Could any of those skills or hobbies be turned into a side hustle? Maybe you could teach online courses, start a podcast, or offer consulting services in your field of expertise. The key is to start small and be consistent. You don't need to quit your day job or invest a ton of money up front. Start with just a few hours a week and see where it takes you. As your side hustles grow, you can reinvest the earnings to scale them up or use them to boost your savings and investments. Tech-savvy investing, leveraging technology for wealth. Let's talk about how your smartphone could be your ticket to financial success. Remember when investing seemed like something only suits on Wall Street could do? Well, those days are long gone. Technology is shaking up the investing world, and it's opening doors for young people like never before. Think about it. You probably use your phone for everything from ordering food to finding dates. Now, it's becoming your personal financial advisor too. Investing apps are popping up left and right, making it super easy to start building wealth with just a few taps. And the best part? You don't need a fat wallet to get started. Many of these apps let you begin with as little as $1. That's right, for less than the price of your morning coffee, you could be taking your first steps toward financial freedom. But it's not just about making investing easy. These apps are changing the whole game. Ever heard of robo-advisors? They're like having a pro investor in your pocket, but without the hefty fees. These digital wizards use algorithms to manage your investments automatically. They'll spread your money across different types of investments to balance risk and potential returns. And the best part? They do it all for a fraction of what a human advisor would charge. Now here's where things get really interesting. Social investing platforms are turning investing into a team sport. You can see what others are buying, share tips, and learn from more experienced investors. It's like having a study group for your finances. You're not just investing, you're part of a community working together to grow their wealth. But hold up, before you dive in headfirst, there's something important we need to talk about. With all this tech making investing so easy, it's tempting to treat it like a game, and that's where things can get risky. Impulsive trading, buying and selling based on emotions or trending stocks, can lead to some serious financial oopsies. Remember, just because you can trade with a swipe doesn't mean you should. Here's the thing, technology is democratizing investing, giving everyone a chance to grow their wealth. But it's not a magic wand. You still need to understand what you're doing. It's like giving everyone access to a professional kitchen. It doesn't automatically make you a chef. You need to learn the recipes, understand the ingredients, and practice your skills. So, what can you do to make the most of these tech tools? First, educate yourself. Many of these apps come with built-in learning resources. Use them, learn about different types of investments, understand risk, and get comfortable with financial terms. It might seem boring at first, but trust me, it'll pay off big time in the long run. Next, start small. Remember, you can begin with just $1. Set up automatic investments of small amounts each week or month. This strategy, called dollar cost averaging, can help smooth out the ups and downs of the market over time. It's like slowly filling a pool instead of trying to do a cannonball with your life savings. Also, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversification is key. Spread your investments across different types of assets. Many robo-advisors do this automatically, but it's important to understand why it matters. It's like not betting your entire allowance on a single number in roulette. You're playing it smart by spreading out your risk. Lastly, be patient. Investing isn't about getting rich quick. It's about building wealth over time. Set long-term goals and stick to them. Don't let short-term market swings freak you out. Remember, you're in this for the long haul. The social impact, aligning wealth with values. You know how we often think about investing as just a way to grow our bank accounts? Well, it turns out that young investors are flipping that script. They're asking, what if our money could do more than just make us richer? What if it could actually make the world a better place? This isn't just wishful thinking. It's a real trend that's shaking up the investment world, and it's called social impact investing. More and more young people are putting their money where their values are, and it's changing the game. Let's talk about what this actually means. Social impact investing is all about choosing investments that align with your personal values. It's not just about the bottom line anymore. Young investors are looking at companies and asking, are they doing good for the environment? Are they treating their workers fairly? Are they promoting diversity and equality? This shift is especially noticeable among millennials and Gen Z. These generations are actively seeking out ways to make their portfolios match their principles. They're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk with their wallets. Here's something interesting. 44% of young investors say that aligning their spending with their personal values has actually made their financial decisions easier. It's given them more peace of mind about their money. Think about that for a second. By focusing on more than just profits, these investors are feeling better about their financial choices overall. But here's the really cool part. This isn't just about feeling good. It's about doing good and doing well at the same time. Young investors are using their financial power to support causes they care about, like fighting climate change or promoting social justice. And get this, they're not sacrificing returns to do it. In fact, research shows that socially responsible investments are often performing just as well as, or even better than, traditional investments. This is huge because it's encouraging even more young people to consider these options. They're realizing they don't have to choose between making money and making a difference. Let's look at some numbers to show how big this trend is getting. Since 2017, we've seen a 46% increase in Gen Z and millennials investing in stocks and shares. That's a massive shift towards more proactive investment strategies, including socially responsible options. Now you might be wondering, how does this actually work in real life? Well, let me tell you about a case study that really brings this home. There's a group of young investors who've successfully aligned their portfolios with their values. And guess what? They're not just feeling good about their choices, they're seeing improved financial outcomes too. These investors report feeling empowered by their investment choices. They're not just passive observers in the market anymore. They're actively using their money to support the causes they believe in. And that sense of purpose is giving them a whole new level of satisfaction with their financial decisions. But let's be real for a minute. This trend isn't just about warm, fuzzy feelings. It's about a fundamental shift in how we think about wealth and success. Young investors are redefining what it means to be financially savvy. They're saying, hey, we can build our wealth and build a better world at the same time. This is where environmental, social, and governance (ESG) funds come in. These are investment options that focus on companies with strong environmental practices, social responsibility, and good governance. And they're becoming increasingly popular among young investors who want to put their money to work in a meaningful way. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but how do I actually get started with social impact investing? Well, the good news is that it's becoming easier than ever. Many investment platforms now offer ESG options, and there are even apps dedicated to socially responsible investing. The key is to start by thinking about what matters most to you. Are you passionate about renewable energy? Look for funds that focus on clean tech companies. Do you care about workers' rights? Seek out investments in companies with strong labor practices. The options are out there. It's just about finding the right fit for you. The future of wealth, what's next? Think about it. We've seen how young people are shaking up the world of wealth building. But here's the thing. The financial landscape is always changing. What works today might not cut it tomorrow. So, let's talk about what's coming next and how you can prepare for it. Remember how we talked about aligning investments with values? Well, that's just the beginning. The future of wealth building is shaping up to be more diverse, flexible, and values-driven than ever before. And it's not just about making money, it's about making money matter. One of the biggest game changers we're seeing is the rise of new asset classes. Cryptocurrency and NFTs are reshaping how young investors think about building wealth. These digital assets are opening up new possibilities for diversification and growth. But they're not without risk, so it's important to approach them with caution and do your homework. The way we work is changing too. The gig economy is growing, and it's likely to keep expanding. This shift is giving young people more flexibility in how they earn and manage their money. Instead of relying on a single paycheck, many are creating multiple income streams. It's like having several smaller baskets for your eggs instead of one big one. Climate change and social issues are also playing a bigger role in how young people think about money. More and more, investors are looking for ways to grow their wealth while also making a positive impact on the world. This could mean investing in renewable energy companies, supporting businesses with strong diversity policies, or choosing funds that prioritize environmental protection. Technology is another major factor shaping the future of wealth building. Digital tools are making it easier than ever to manage money, invest, and learn about finance. From budgeting apps to robo-advisors, technology is democratizing access to financial tools and information. This means more people can start building wealth earlier and with smaller amounts of money. But with all these changes, one thing remains constant: the importance of financial wellness. A recent survey found that 61% of 18 to 35-year-olds are experiencing financial stress. The main culprits? Rising costs of living, job instability, and escalating housing expenses. These challenges are pushing young people to get creative with their financial strategies. So, what financial moves are working best for the under 35 crowd? Let's break it down. First, they're embracing side hustles and additional income streams. In fact, 41% of Gen Z and millennials say that engaging in side hustles has significantly boosted their financial wellness. And it's not just a passing trend. 31% are targeting side hustles as their top financial goal for 2025. Second, they're thinking ahead and focusing on saving and investing. There's been a 46% increase in US and UK 18 to 27-year-olds holding stocks and shares since 2017. This shows that young people are taking their financial futures seriously and starting to invest earlier than previous generations. Third, they're leveraging their tech-savvy nature to manage their finances more effectively. As of 2025, Gen Z's financial habits are expected to be heavily influenced by their comfort with technology. They're using digital tools for budgeting, investing, and managing their money in ways that older generations might find surprising. But it's not all about hustling and grinding. A significant portion of Gen Z is rejecting the hustle culture narrative. Instead, they're focusing on achieving a balance between work and personal well-being. This shift is influencing their financial decisions, leading to a more holistic approach to wealth building that takes into account quality of life as well as bank account balances. As we look to the future, it's clear that the path to financial success is becoming more personalized and diverse. There's no one-size-fits-all approach anymore. Instead, young people are crafting financial strategies that align with their values, lifestyle goals, and individual circumstances. Your wealth-building blueprint, taking action. You've seen the strategies, you've heard the success stories, but here's the million-dollar question. How do you turn all this knowledge into your own wealth-building reality? It's time to create your personal blueprint for financial success. Don't worry if it feels a bit overwhelming at first. Remember, every financial journey starts with a single step. Let's begin by taking an honest look at where you stand right now. No judgment, just facts. How much are you earning? What are your expenses? Do you have any debts? What about savings or investments? Getting clear on your current situation is the foundation for everything that comes next. Now, let's talk about setting some clear, achievable goals. Remember Cinea, Anita, and Cyan? Their success didn't happen by accident. They each had specific, personal targets they were aiming for. What's your big financial dream? Maybe it's hitting that first $100,000 in savings, starting a successful side business, or reaching a point where you can work because you want to, not because you have to. Once you've got your goals in place, it's time to choose strategies that fit your situation and values. This is where things get exciting. Maybe you're ready to take a page from Cinea's book and start strategically job hopping to boost your income. Or perhaps Anita's aggressive investing approach speaks to you. If you're feeling entrepreneurial, you might want to explore starting a side hustle like Cyan did. Here's something interesting to consider. 41% of young adults say side hustles are their top financial goal for 2025. That's a lot of people looking to boost their income and financial stability through extra work. Could a side hustle be part of your wealth-building plan? Whatever strategies you choose, don't forget about the power of education. The more you know about personal finance and investing, the better equipped you'll be to make smart decisions. And here's some good news. 44% of young adults report that their quality of life has improved since they started focusing on financial wellness. Small changes in your financial habits can lead to big benefits over time. Now, let's talk about a practical tool you can use to manage your money, the 50-30-20 rule. This budgeting strategy suggests allocating 50% of your income to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings. It's a simple way to ensure you're covering your bases while still setting aside money for the future. Another powerful tool in your financial toolkit? Automation. Studies show that automating your finances can help you save 3.8 times more money. Why? Because it takes the decision-making and the temptation to spend out of the equation. Set up automatic transfers to your savings and investment accounts and watch your wealth grow without having to think about it. Let's address something important: financial stress. If you're feeling anxious about money, you're not alone. A significant 61% of 18 to 35-year-olds experience financial stress, mainly due to rising living costs, job instability, and housing expenses. But here's the thing: taking control of your finances can help reduce that stress. In fact, 36% of people report less anxiety after creating a financial wellness routine. One area where many young adults struggle is preparing for financial setbacks. About 32% of people admit they don't have a clear strategy for managing money troubles. That's why it's crucial to build an emergency fund as part of your wealth-building plan. Even small, regular contributions can add up over time and provide a financial cushion when you need it most. As you're building your wealth, don't forget about the importance of credit. Establishing good credit early can open doors for you later on. Consider starting with a low-limit credit card and always pay your bills on time. This simple habit can help you build a positive credit history, which can be invaluable when you're ready to make bigger financial moves. Remember, your wealth-building journey is unique. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. The key is to start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Now, let's talk about what really matters when it comes to building wealth. It's not about hitting some magic 100K number or following old-school rules. The game has changed, and young people are rewriting the playbook. Think about it. We've seen how job hopping, aggressive investing, and side hustles are opening up new paths to financial success. But here's the thing, these are just starting points. Your financial journey is unique to you. It's about finding what works for your life, your goals, and your values. The numbers don't lie. 44% of young adults say their quality of life has improved since focusing on financial wellness. That's what this is all about. Not just making money, but creating a life you love. So go ahead, make those smart money moves that feel right for you. Your financial story is yours to write, and it's time to start your own wealth-building revolution.